So, in a quite ungentlemanlike fashion, just prior to the break, I asked Joe Murray kind of the proverbial, have you stopped robbing banks lately question, and then, of course, immediately went to a commercial break and didn't afford him an opportunity to answer. So, Joe, you're going to get the final word.
All right, well, real brief. Well, Greg, I don't think we're that far apart on the issue. I just have objection with the label white privilege because just like I would not label the African American community with a broad brush or the Asian community with a broad brush, I don't think you can do that to the white or Caucasian community because I know many Irish Catholics, many Germans who came to this country and did not get the privilege of some other Caucasians in this country. I think it basically is going to boil down to economic advantage, and that is why I want to make sure that every race, creed, or religion has the opportunity to succeed is because once you unlock your economic potential, everything else seems to fall away.
And I appreciate you making that point, Joe, because you're right. I mean, again, we want to be accurate and also historically honest here that, yes, there have been people groups, and we kind of always think, and I think maybe this is what's so troubling about the current cancel culture, that it paints a very broad brush and seems to lump everybody into the same stack, forgetting that there were groups that came in different phases into the United States, certainly in the late 1800s and early 1900s, that came from Europe and were nevertheless discriminated against quite significantly. The Irish immigrants to the United States at the turn of the century, the last century I'm referring to, certainly Italian immigrants, many suffered at the hands of great discrimination and had a huge struggle. So we will agree on that point that it does tend to be a phrase that is kind of a broad brush, and we can't deny the fact that money plays a major role, and we can oftentimes see that even played out certainly in the judicial system, that oftentimes if it isn't your race that plays a role, it's certainly money or the lack thereof that does.
Well, it's always going to be a color. It's just that the color is green. So, I mean...
That's right.
And I think
let's not leave out green privilege in this case here. And we're not talking about the luck of the Irish from yesterday either. Well, Joe, we're plumb out of time. See, this is what happens when we get Joe on the air. We get a chance to get such good give and take and dialogue going on and kind of unfolding all the critical issues of the day that before you know it, an entire hour has blown by. And, we're required to pay him, I think, some ridiculous amount of money, like $150,000 per appearance. So we can't do it that often, but we sure relish the times when we can. Joe, it is always such a delight to go toe-to-toe with you. And I especially love the fact, and I want listeners to know this about you before we turn a corner here and let you go. Even in the example of our dialogue tonight, the notes that came in from my producer said, I'm quoting here, he's so ready to talk about everything, and she has everything in capital letters, and you certainly prove that because you didn't hesitate at anything I threw at you tonight, which is why we love to have you on the show so much, and listeners love you too.
And I love to be here, Craig. Listen, we're going to do this more often, my friend, and listen, you be safe out there in California, and I hope to talk to you real soon.
All right, you all do the same. Thanks so much for your time. There is constitutional lawyer, writer, reporter, former political operative with Pat Buchanan's presidential campaign, Mr. Joe Murray. All right, we're going to help you get around the corner here with a traffic update. When we come back, Dan Beltran's going to help us see what happened in the markets as Lifeline continues.
And now back to Lifeline with Craig Roberts.